Hello and welcome. These are horse racing selections for Sunday, the 23rd of October. I am Flatcap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Alright, don't adjust your sets. This isn't a weeknight. I am releasing this video 14 hours early. Basically, I don't like doing it when I haven't sort of advertised I'm going to do an early video. I don't do it very often. I just didn't want to take the risk with some of the prices I've got at the Curragh, and I know not everyone's going to see the video until the morning, and I hope those prices will stay a bit. But there's a few prices at the Curragh that I just don't think are going to hold. Well, certainly I don't think they're going to hold until the race time, but I don't know at what point they might start coming in. And I just think from a value point of view, the value point of view, it's well worth getting on. So I'm doing the video now. It's £15, and the first race is 130 Aintree, and there's 3 bets. So it's just a 3/4 stake. So I've got 2 lucky 15s and a combination bet. Across the two, definitely by far best races of Sunday. So we'll see how we go. So as far as the review goes of Saturday, I'm going to whiz through it because it was absolutely dire. We haven't had a day like it since I came back from my holiday. So that was just over 3 weeks ago, where we completely struck out off a £30 stake. Almost as bad, to the point I haven't even watched. Well, the last race of Chelmsford hasn't run when I'm making this video, but even if it does, it's only worth £1.70 for a place, so it's not worth a great deal. So we've scraped just over £1 back at the moment, and if we get a place in the last, £1.70, so pretty bad. Literally in this one, Eagle Way placed 5th. That only paid out for Sky 365, 888 and a couple of minor bookies. It wasn't worth much, 76 pence to the channel. We then had this, disappointing across the board, apart from Das Capital, that got backed in to a ridiculous 15-8 favourites. No way that horse should have been that short. The night before it was about 20s, which was completely wrong, but 15-8 was nuts. It placed about 50 pence for the channel on that one. And then in here we did have a place and a place, but nothing in the middle, so it blew the bet. And as I mentioned at Chelmsford, we're a bit unfortunate there. That was 5th, one out of the placings. Twilight Madness was placed. Estrella Star, bit of a strange ride, is all we'll say. And Miss Bluebell hasn't run at the time of racing. If it placed, even if it wins, it's £1.70 to the channel. If it doesn't, that'll be nothing. So just over £1 back for the day thus far. And when I do the video, I'll do the profit and loss in the description, because by the time I've uploaded the video, the last race will have happened. Right, so hopefully some of you are still with me. I know there's a lot of very loyal followers, but equally after a day like today, you can't blame people who are a bit touristy, who come across these channels and watch for a day and think it's the worst thing ever. You've got to have discipline in what you're doing, and sometimes and patience. So I appreciate if you're a long-term losing gambler, you probably don't have discipline and patience, hence why you're long-term losing. So I know I've managed to convert a number of people through the channel in terms of the way to bet, in terms of the types of prices to go for, the types of races to go for, and that's made a big difference. But you can't help everybody. I'm putting it out there, and particularly as well, because I've said many times, I'm doing it in a really, really low-key way. Like my other half was saying to me the other day about putting some slides and stuff, and I was like, I don't want to do it because I don't have any need to be the biggest or the best channel. I'm just doing what I'm doing. And if people find me, brilliant. And if they've got to stick, they want to put some faith in it, that's great. But I don't want to stand out from the crowd in what I'm doing. I've got no requirement to do that. I'm just trying to help people. And so I'm not professing to be the best, the biggest, anything like that. You can look at my profit and loss, it's all there, and you can judge for yourself. You could judge the fact that there's a lot of other channels out there that don't put out a profit and loss. You can judge the fact there's a lot of other channels that don't allow comments, so you never get the feedback. It's entirely up to you what you want to do. I'm doing it my way, and I know there's a bunch of you that like it, and that is how we will remain. It will always be value in the market, multiple bets, bigger prices. Therefore, sometimes you fall on your sword when you go after one like Scandiberg today, and other times you come up trumps. That's what we're about. So, today's bets, what I would say for Sunday's bets, big flag on this one, is tonight, right now, 365 are not bad, so I wouldn't say they're bad to put the bets on, but they are not preferable bookie. They are number 4 or maybe even 5th in my ranking of bookies tonight. So Paddy are coming out trumps on all bets, and I'll explain why. And Hills and Sky are probably similar. So you're not going to get bogging multiples, but from the place terms, Paddy are best right now. So this is what we're starting with. So I've just got a couple of Aintree, smaller prices. 130 Aintree, Hurricane Harvey 7-1. There's a few bookies paying 5 on that race, including Sky and Paddy. So well worth trying to look for that. 205 Aintree, Sir Ivan. Sky R3 because they've got a promotion on that race. It was a money back cash second or third. If you were to ask me, would I put that horse up for that kind of a bet? Yeah, that price I would. So I don't want to encourage people to bet more money than you can afford, but for those of you who like using those promotions, you would do that. Funny enough, I know, the channel account, albeit it's restricted, it does still seem to allow those sorts of bets. So it's really funny. They won't allow me any free bets anymore, I don't think. No bog, and they're restricting stakes, but they'll still allow me to do that promotion, I believe. But because it's the channel account, it's not like something I'm doing, but it's strange one. So there are bookies paying 4 on that race, and there's a couple that therefore the price is a bit better. So it will vary a little bit. So Sky are 3 places. There are bookies paying 4. And then we've got 335 Limerick. So it's the Munster National Darren's Hope 10-1. And this race is 6 on Sky Bet and 6 on William Hill. Everybody else is 5. And then the 455 Curragh race, Mary Salome 18s, that is 5 on Sky Bet, but 6 on Paddy. And I would say having 6 on that race is better than having 6 on that race. And on that basis, because you've got similar on there, I'm making Paddy just slightly better. I would rather have 6 places on that race. Oh, it's my dishwasher bleeping, apologise. 6 on that race and 5 on that race would be the way I would have it. And the reason being, because it's a long distance handicap chase and the ground's not great, you never quite know how many horses are going to finish. Sometimes in these races you can only have 4 or 5 finishing, so actually having 6th place is not necessarily going to be the best. And sometimes you get like the nag of the race is the one that just keeps on plodding around. So I would rather put this bet with Paddy. So personally, outside of the channel, tomorrow I'll be using Paddy and William Hill accounts to do my own bets, 100%. So hopefully that makes sense, that I'm saying that way around is better, but that's what we do on the channel. So that's bet 1, £6 you bet, 20p each way, lucky 15, standard bet. Then this is the one with the prices, and again Paddy are better for the same reason that there's 6 places. So we've got here 335 Limerick walking on glass. So as I said, on that race, Sky and William Hill are 4 or 6. Others are 5, 14-1. I do think that's a decent enough price, and I would expect that one. I don't think it's going to be a price crasher, but I would expect that to be a shorter SP. Then we've got the 420 Curragh, which is a great looking race. So you've got 2 absolute shorties at the top of the market. Currently 9 runners. So you're looking at what else, and it's a funny old race. It's amateur jockeys and stuff, and I've had a look through and I worked out on ratings. I think that is the standout value for the race. So I think it's about 5th favourite, but 50-1, that's too much. The price will still be big because the 2 shorties are the horses that look, as much as you can, they look like they are so much better than everything else in the race. So it looks like you're paying for 3rd place, definitely. And I think from a value point of view, Daguda's the one I'd have a go at. I would walk past the 3rd and 4th favourites to take that 50-1, definitely. So the last couple of times it's not run so well, but it's got potential to be better than that mark. And from a weights point of view, it looks all right. So Daguda is the one at 50s, and I do think that will be shorter. 455 the Curragh, Vahoyan 22-1. that one, you never can quite tell. That horse has been around a long time, and sometimes it gets shorter and sometimes it gets bigger. Sometimes it stays the same. So I'm not quite sure. It could go either way, Vahoyan. And then 5:30, the Curragh 7 Worlds. That is a brilliant price. That horse has not been in form, but if you look at back history on course and distance, never should that be that price. And it's that price is available across the board. Dagoda is pretty much 50s across the board, except 365. 7 Worlds 50 across the board, but I really like that price. So I'm not saying it's a bang, sir. I'm not saying chunk a load of money on it. What I'm saying is there is a lot of movement in that price. I'd be looking at that at maybe. Probably the shortest I chase it down to is maybe about 14s, possibly 12s. That's where I would go down to with it. But so 50 to 1, there's a lot of movement. Whereas Dagoda, I think, is more probably like a 20 to 22s kind of an angle. So more value in that one. But this is a really interesting race. So it's 20p each way, lucky 15. And I've done an additional outrageous 30p each way double on the 250 to 1 shots. So even a place double would sort us right out for the day. What I would say as well for the channel account, I was restricted on the bet, so the doubles on the channel account and half the lucky 15. And I'm not trying to play fast and loose here and go, oh well, I'll put the other half of the money on Paddy. I wonder why I would do that. So yeah, as I've done today, the bits I couldn't get on, I've put it in a 365 account I had as a kind of emergency backup. So I've put it on with the other half of this lucky 15. So it's 10p on with Sky and 10 lucky on 365. With 365, it means I'm only getting 5 on that race, and I've only got 40s on that and 25s on that. So it's slightly different terms. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. That's bet 2, and then finally finishing off. With the combination double bet. So as I said before, Paddy on this race is 6, therefore Paddy 6 and 5 on that is better to me than Sky or William Hill 6 on that and 5 on that. And from a price point of view, Paddy are better prices than Sky Bet on this right now as well. So if you haven't got the message, Paddy's where you want to be tonight. 3:35 Limerick, Darren's Hope 10s, Walking on Glass 14s, going on to 4:55 the Curragh, Mary Salome 18s, Is That Love 16s, Vahoyan 22s. When I looked on Paddy before, they were 20s and 25. I just think those prices are particularly good, particularly Mary Salome. I think that one will be a bit shorter than that, definitely. Is That Love? I think it should be, but I don't know whether it will get backed. And Vahoyan, I said it could go anyway. So it's 6 times 20p each way doubles. £2.40 is your bet. All right, let's hope we can have a much better day than Saturday, because after Saturday we are now down nearly a stake and a half for the week. The last 2 weeks we've made a small bit of profit, and the first week of October we had a stonker. So there's no worries in terms of we're well ahead for October. We're well ahead for the year, clearly. But yeah, it's the first time we've sort of actually been in a place where it's not gone well. So the channel's not in a slump, don't get me wrong, but it was a hard day today, and there was a few gambles knocking about. That horse that won the Cheltenham race, I wouldn't have touched it with the barge pole. You could see from a long way off that was going to be a gamble. You wouldn't have picked it on form, and then because of the gamble, I wouldn't have taken it on price, even though those Burns horses generally do very well when they get backed in. Okay, that's me. Enjoy your Saturday evening if you're watching it tonight. Enjoy your Sunday. So I now will be back Tuesday night for Wednesday selections. If there's anything in the meantime that I find at a price, I'll put it in the comments. I didn't mention on the video earlier, I did do some for which I don't think I've ever done on the channel. I did some Australian ones because it was Cox Plate, early hours of this morning, Saturday morning. Had second in the Cox Plate, and the other two got well beaten, so it was a bit disappointing on that one. But yeah, if I get anything else for the UK and Ireland racing, I say that I don't think there's any Irish racing on Monday and Tuesday. If I get anything for UK racing for Monday, Tuesday that I like, I'll put it in the comments. But it doesn't look the best, to be honest, Monday, Tuesday. So I shall be back Tuesday night for Wednesday's selections. Okay, thank you very much. Good night to you. Bye-bye.